Hello everyone, my name is Mandy and I'm really happy to be here to share which I match to you. So I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and just briefly introduce myself. So my background is product engineering, industrial design. I also do art therapy for people with special needs, and I teach maths for children with autism. So teach them how to visualize the questions to do the maths questions. So I guess Rich and Match is the research is the combination of areas that I really interested about, which is inclusion, education, and assistive technology. And I did this research in collaborating with a group of therapists and also educators to design it. And actually, it's a long journey for me to do this research. And there are many different questions that actually I ask myself before I come up with which I match this idea. So the first thing which popped up in my mind is Braille. I found Braille is beautiful, smart, simple. It's such an effective way to for blind people to communicate. And I looked into the data and I found out in 1963, there are 45% of blind people, they learn Braille, but it dropped to only 9.5% in 1998. So I'm wondering why. And another data shows that 90% of the blind people, they learn Braille, they're able to get a job. While comparing to the people they don't know Braille, only 30% they're able to get a job. Then it's a problem. And I ask myself why. And then I look into the research. I was trying to figure out what's the questions behind this. I found there's so many social cultural problem also in terms of the education and also in terms of the policies. And I understand that there are a few questions. For example, we integrating blind students into the mainstream school. There may not be enough qualified teachers and also resources, equipment to teach children to learn Braille. And it's quite often the teachers may also find it struggle to teach kids with vision impairment with Braille as well. And that's also one really interesting information which shows that the technology, because sometimes we are able to use, I call it maybe a cheaper form of education because we can turn the written test into audio book. So the student, they read by listening. So for me, I found this is not okay because I read by myself, it's active, and I listen to a book, which is passive. And Braille is very important for blind people's independent life and also career. So this is the first question I put into my mind is I want to design something to help kids to have a really fun experience to learn Braille literacy. And they really appreciate this is really cool. And then I surround myself with a group of children and I collaborate with an organization called Vision Australia, and which is the leading service provider in Australia. And so I got the wonderful experience to learn how kids they learn their bodies, their fingers, and perceive their world through their different senses. And addition to vision impairment, I find kids may also have additional needs as well, such as cognitive, developmental, hearing, and mobility impairment. For example, this picture shows a little girl, she's 4 years old, and using an equipment to help her to walk. And she is blind, but she also has some mental barriers as well. So I'm thinking, this is very important when kids that learn during that time is not just Braille, but you also learn about the tactile communication to promote how you learn Braille as well. And therefore, I study about the sensory play and I understand how important it helps kids to learn in the area where they surround with their friends without vision impairment. So there are some really important areas I include in my design. So which is tactile fantasy, hearing pleasure. They also need to learn about the spatial awareness and bodily identifications, and the motor skills is extremely important. And inclusion is so important, and in the society we talk about inclusion every day, and it's so challenging, and especially among children. And children, they are really young, they're innocent, they may not really able to respect others. And I find teachers will have a really difficult job to joining kids with and without special needs together. And these diagrams are really smart, and it just use a very simple way to distinguish the difference between exclusion, separation, integration, and inclusion. And in Australia, US, and Europe, we tend to achieve like inclusive education, which children with special needs, they also go to the mainstream school. But as a designer and also educators, how important we need to think about the kids with vision impairment and also with additional needs to understand their physical and social needs when they surround in the classroom. So sometimes it's really, really difficult for kids if they are in the mainstream school but also excluded from their friends. So this is something I'm thinking and ask myself, if I want to design something for children, what's the most important thing to join them is play together. And then I did some research trying to understand, is there any existing solution available in the market, and are they solving the problem that I want to solve? So I categorized them into three areas, as you can see. The first area is toy, mainstream toy, everyone can play and buy in the market, and this area is Braille, and for students to learn Braille in a systematic way. For example, Braille machines and type and some tool for them to learn the combination of the six dot. And obviously, I looking into the middle parts, which is toy plus Braille. So I want kids to play but also have fun. But at the same time, it's not just play with your fingers, but with your whole body, but you also join with your friends to play together. So that is the area that I look into, and that is the questions I ask myself, what can I do with that? And just to sum up all the research questions in my mind, and I actually did lots of like development and concepts and ideations, but due to the time limit, I'm not able to share with you. But so it just come up with my design goal, which is fun for all. It's through exercise and games, joining children with and without special need and vision impairment to play together. And there are three main areas I want to achieve for my research. The first one is celebrating early Braille literacy. Second is help kids to learn essential childhood skills through play-based activities. And last one is a really fun tool, is inclusive, joining kids together. So it's not labeling kids with vision impairment or kids with autism to play, but any kids they see it, they want to play. And I I did I create different prototypes to test with children in order to understand materials, understand the size, and understand the features and also the user interface of the products. And I choose which can match to go forward because I find this really encourage students with exploration, interaction, and active movement. For example, they develop interest and curiosity in textures, colors, materials, and they are encouraged to ask questions about the Braille dots. What is this? Why we need to learn this? And why there some kids learn Braille? And also it has print as well. So it encourages them to learn. And also they are able to communicate, express themselves, and try to figure out how to play. And I did my research and finished in 2011. So that's the time I was really excited because I'm done, so really happy, and I quickly got a job, which is bus designer. So I design bus. But at the same time, I still work as Reach and Match as my side projects. I make 10 samples to work with the schools and test with the therapists and children in homes as well. And they really love it, and they think this is helping kids. And that's the time that I'm thinking, should I do this because it's a research, it's an idea. If I leave it, it would just be an idea forever, and it's not really helping any kids. So that's the time I think, how about just try to make it? So that's the time that I pick up this project and do as a full time, just trying to make it happen. And the design is really well received in the world and receive awards in the area of inclusion, education, and technology area. And actually this year is really exciting because it received an honorable mention of Louis Braille Touch of Genius in United States, given by the National Braille Press. And I also got a chance to showcase the design in different countries, able to talk to different professionals and educators to get their feedback. And in 2015, Rich and Match was selected as one of the 99 solutions in the world and exhibit in Design Museum of Barcelona. And this is a fabric version of Rich and Match, and actually it was a prototype only, and it was showcased in the United Nations Innovation Fair in Geneva. And this is Secretary General Ban Ki-moon comment on my product, which is pretty cool. Okay, so what is Rich and Match? And as you may know, I have a stand. You can feel free to come and have a look. It has three different materials: fabrics, plastic towel, which is very durable and hard, and this is the foam. Rubber foam mat, and which is really durable, but at the same time it's very safe for kids to explore with their bodies. And in the middle is a cushion, is with a zip. You can put all the little tiles inside, and the mat and also the tiles, they are double sided. One side is a path, it got like pockets with different shapes, so you can put the different shape of the tiles into the path. And the other side, I think this picture I didn't do really well, so you can't see the distinguish between like the patterns. So it's like the dots, the waves, the lines, and also a path. And I choose these symbols because they're really distinctive. But at the same time, the dot, you often find it in the train station or traffic light because they actually are the mobility symbol for blind people. So it means dangerous or stop. And this one is the directional sign. So to tell the blind people like where to walk, you may find that in the escalator or at the train station. So you can teach the kids that one day you come across this symbol in your life, and they teach about the mobility symbol. And for the tiles, it has the print and also braille, and underneath that is a directional sign, so the kids will learn about which side to read the braille. So it has print and braille, so it encourages children with all vision, they can play with each other. And how to play Rich and Match, and it's really simple and flexible. But it has so many ways to play. For example, if I make into a big square, like facing all the patterns facing up, and it's for kids to learn about different like materials and also different patterns. For example, if they are given a tile and they ask to sort which one is the small pattern matching with the big patterns, or which one is yellow, or which one is with this sound, or which one is circle, so they can learn about sorting, matching, etc. And if you flip the mat over and it has a path, and you can join the match together, create a long path. And this side you can learn about the ABC like alphabet. So you can learn about to arrange into an alphabetic order, teach kids about that, and also you learn about putting different shapes into different pockets. So the main idea is to help them to learn the orientation, space concept, and also develop motor skills. So when they because the path is like a very strong tactile guide for them to play. So it's just like a map, but play with your whole body, not just the fingers. And that is a cushion at the end, just let you know, congratulations, you finish your path, and encourage them to walk the path that they create. So it's a fun way to encourage them to explore the environment and also develop the skills. And so as you see, it's not just one way to play. You can play in different way, and the mats are expandable, so you can join in actually 2-3 sets and fill the whole room. And the kids, they like really love it. And we also can make them into like a tactile wall as well. So it's like 3D, and guiding the kids to touch the wall, and we can build into a house as well. Some kids with autism, they love and feel safe and calm when they surround by the mat. And I also design as a portable design, so the whole kit, it can be really big, but when you tidy up, it can be really compact. So you can just leave it at the corner of the room, but at the same time, for the teachers, they can bring to the homes and enjoy by the families, or also bring to the school as well. And after I did my research, and I also spent about 9 months time to develop a program. So this program is through the observation, like how teachers and occupational therapists and orientation mobility instructors, they're using reach and match to teach kids with these skills. And I observe and document into the book, which is a menu. So this is a menu. So it has like 30 activities and games to show and let the teacher know how to best use of the kit. And due to the time limit, oh my gosh. And I'm not going to talk the details, but they are braille and print learning, cognitive skills, sensory integration, body movements, orientation, and language. So language, we teach kids about like turn left, right, front, and back, and we also move the mat into different directions. And if you got time, you can come and have a look. Um, so for lots of group activity, we really want to join kids together to learn about, for example, very simple thing like if you form a team, you helping your friend in order to achieve the task, or you offering help to your friend. And there are some examples. So how the teachers can use in the classroom. For example, one start that means a very simple basic games for kids like maybe really young, and they can play together, and some games are more difficult with 3 stars, and there are different learning outcomes. So if you want to help kids to achieve like build the body skills, maybe you can pick this game to play with them. And this is some images we are using in the schools in Melbourne, and also the organizations. We have lots of summer camps, so that's a great time to join kids together and play with a big group. And I also did inclusive learning workshop last year in different cities in Australia. And it's amazing to receive lots of great feedback among the department, education department, and also the leading service provider to using this for children with vision impairment and multiple needs. And I'm going to show you some videos for the organization and also schools in Australia, and also the kids in Netherlands using it. So I collaborate with an organization called Batimius in the Netherlands, and they're amazing because I spent 2 weeks ago I went there and spent a morning session just observe how their therapists to use reach and match for the group of children with multiple needs. And it's really satisfying to see how they enjoy it. And I'm going to show you some videos. I'll try to be really quick. Okay, so first of all, this video is actually is the one that we're using in Australia.
That's you.
Just to let you know, this one is teaching kids with the order of the alphabets, and this boy is Christian, and he made a little mistake about OMP, and the teacher tried to correct him.
Why?
Is it?
P.
Oh, it's P. Does P come before or after O?
I did it.
Christian, does P come before or after O?
After.
So, maybe you need to change the order. Where will the O go?
No, there.
Right, so move it. What letter are you moving? Is it?
Okay, so there is another. This one is we play about the listening games, and this kid is amazing. He got a really good hearing skills, and you will tell.
That's a new joke, isn't it? Circle, circle.
And there's also square, square.
He just make up names for the
Okay,
cows.
my turn. Which one's this one? Four?
Square.
Right, brilliant. Oh my goodness, that's so good. Okay, I'm going to give you a new task as well.
Triangle.
Brilliant.
Pentagon.
Okay.
And just let you know, like it's quite often we play listening games with kids without vision to play together, and kids that are blind, they win all the time, and it just really gives the perspective for other kids that you're not just rely on your vision, but you also need to train your listening, like hearing skills as well. So that is really important. And this is a video took in Bartimaeus. This boy is 4 years old and he doesn't know any braille, but there's a braille dot at the front of the door. He always know that it's a braille A, and this is the first time like he is trying to learn braille and he can recognize A. And this video showing how it react to the patterns and also the sound.
Mama, mag je die eraf houdt van de ronde? Want er zit er allemaal af. En dat is weer 1 puntje. En die van bosmuis.
Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. So I still got a few videos. You guys can come to my stand if you're interested. Thank you so much.